Hello, everybody. You are watching the Talking Points for Teachers Getting Started webinar on the free web and mobile app. So today I'm going to help you walk through the platform, learn more about the Talking Points organization, and just generally get prepared to send your very first message and add your contacts and get ready to up your game as far as family engagement goes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen and teach you a little bit about what we do at Talking Points. Welcome to Talking Points. So during this time in this video, I'll just introduce you to our organization. We are a nonprofit and the mission that we are guided by, and you will learn about the Talking Points for Teachers web and mobile apps. As well as a live demo of the Talking Points account that I have with the free apps. And I'll help prepare you to send your first message if you have not done so already. Just a little bit about what we do at Talking Points in 3 simple steps. We support every child to learn, grow, and succeed, just as you do as teachers. We empower family members to be partners in their children's education, and we help teachers and schools successfully support families. This is my favorite graphic that we have at Talking Points because it demonstrates really well how we help those families communicate with teachers and vice versa. Teachers communicate with families, because not only is it an effective and fast and equitable way for teachers to get communication to families, but we employ translation so that all families can be involved in communication with their children's teachers. So once your families are inputted into your Talking Points account, every announcement you send will automatically be translated into every family's home language, and you can have those quick responses coming back to you, and those conversations, those relationships are built so that those are real, true partnerships between you and those families. And like you probably already know, we support translation and have always prioritized translation in over 100 languages on our app, in languages varying from Arabic all the way down to Zulu. So we are likely already supporting all, if not almost all, the languages that are present in the families in your classroom. So if there are languages that aren't represented on our list, we are always accepting requests for added languages, and you can reach out to our help center to make a request. But likely that language already exists on our list, and you can reach out to us and add your families to your list and go ahead and start messaging them. This is another great example of how your family engagement practices change once you get families communicating with you through Talking Points. Before, it was just families asking, "What'd you do today?" "Nothing," from the child. But once you have a partnership with the families yourself, you can send messages letting the parents know, "Johnny learned about the alphabet today and he actually spelled his name," in the lower grades. Or upper grades, "We're working on a project about blank," and let them know what they're learning. And then the parents can start those engaging conversations with their child, and the child remembers, "Oh yeah, I learned this awesome thing," and start those conversations at home, which the child then sees as that connection, and they view that partnership, and they know, "Oh, my mom actually knows what's going on at school." And it's a really cool partnership that begins, and parents realize, I am a partner in my child's education. And it's a really cool thing that begins and continues throughout their child's education. So now we can actually jump into the product itself, the actual platform of Talking Points. Now, there are a few different ways that you can log into your Talking Points account for the first time. Once you choose that login, you're going to use that same method after that. So you can use an email and password or Google single sign-on or Apple single sign-on to log into your account. But you'll need to pay attention to what email address you use so that you can use the same one every time. I know at this point, everybody has 2 or 3 email addresses a lot of times. I know I do. So pay attention to which one you use. Most people will use their school email address, and make sure you're signing in with the same one every time, or you might accidentally create multiple accounts and then get confused. So create that single account with the email address you're most likely to check every time, the way that you'd like to use it, and then go ahead and log in. And I'm going to switch over to my demo account. Sorry, there is a storm outside where I am. Hopefully you're not hearing too much of the thunder. And I'm going to switch over and show you my Talking Points account. So at talkingpts.org, you can click, if it's your first time, you'll click sign up for free. If it is not, you'll click log in. I am already logged in, so it went ahead and took me through there. And since I'm already an active teacher, I've already sent several messages. My dashboard is pretty full. If it's your first time, you won't have any of these messages here. In fact, you'll have a couple of prompts that say, add students, send some messages. But if you've already started messaging, you'll see your most recent messages and your most recent announcements. You'll also see the activity that you've had in the past 30 days. I know that teachers are very data-driven people, so we like to provide some of that data here. And then, as we'll see later on, your analytics dashboard, which is really useful for monitoring how you stay engaged, but also how your families stay engaged with you. So also on your dashboard is how you will send messages to both families and classes as a whole, which are called announcements. And we've also put the definitions here between announcements and direct messages, because we know that that can get confusing if you're new to the platform. So you can choose to send an announcement to entire classes. It's really storming here. Or a direct message to one family. But obviously the first thing you're going to want to do, I'm going to unplug actually because of this storm. The first thing you're going to want to do if you're new is add students. So we're going to go down to classes. Now, when you first come on, we'll have created a class for you that's just called, like if you create your account and your name is Paige, like mine is, it'll just be called Paige's class. You can rename that class. You can delete that class and create your own. For instance, I wanted mine to be called Mrs. Delogier's class and QA class. So I named them the way that I wanted to name them. But if you want to add a new class and start fresh, you would click add class, name it whatever you'd like to name it. Let's say it's my reading class in 2nd grade. And I'd create it. Now I have a new class that has 0 students in it. So if I click into that new class, it tells me they haven't have any students in it and I need to add. So I'll click add students and it gives me all the options of ways that I can do that. I can add them manually. I can invite them one of 2 ways. I can invite them with an app code, which it's loading. There's my class code. So I can send this code to families and let them know that they can type that code into the Talking Points for Parents app if they download it, and that's how they will join my class. or I can invite families to join via text message. So depending on the language that they speak primarily, they can text a certain code to join via SMS to this phone number, similar to the app code. Or lastly, I can add students that are in other classes of mine to the current class that I have. So likely, if it is your first class and you don't want parents to have to do anything, because that's what we really want. We want parents to have the easiest job. We want them to come in with no work at all. That's really one of the things that sets Talking Points apart, is we give you an option where parents don't have to do anything to get on. I know parents often get frustrated with other communication apps because it's really difficult for them to get onto the apps. So we give you the option to manually add them. You can, if there are just a few, type them in one at a time into this form. So you could add them. Paige, the contact name is Laura. Laura is her mother. She speaks English and her number is blah, 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 blah. Next student. If it's more than that, say you have the full 200 max, if you have those listed somewhere on your computer that you could copy and paste into an Excel sheet that is that we've created that matches this format, download our Excel sheet and it is way quicker. So we've included that to make this process quicker, to make it so easy for your parents to where they can just download the app. And after you've done this process, they don't have to do anything. They just download the app and boom, there's your class on their app. And they will be so grateful that you've done all the work. And really, we've done most of the work. So there's a video there that shows exactly how to do it with this Excel sheet as well. But we do also, as I showed you, have these codes for parents who want or need to add themselves, or are using SMS text and you need to have them added that way. So that's adding students. I'm going to go ahead and delete this class because I have my other ones. All right, I'm going to go home to my dashboard. On this dashboard, as I said, the main thing I need to do from here is send a message. And since you are new to Talking Points, it's going to be your first message. So let's say I want to send a class announcement. An announcement, I like to think of an announcement as like the PA system that's in a classroom where the morning announcements come from. It's for everyone. So the audience, the recipients that it gives me are my classes. It goes to the entire class. So if I want to send to Miss Delogier's entire class, I could type my announcement as welcome back to school. I missed this. Okay. I can attach files from my computer. I can attach photos and videos. I can use Google Drive to attach whatever I have on my Google Drive. I can create polls. So if I wanted to add a question like, what was your, let's see, did you miss most about school over the, then I can add poll options like reading new books, playing with my friends. You can add more than one option. It doesn't have to be a yes or no question. Recess. You can add all kinds of options. You see how it goes. If you don't want to do a poll, you can also in announcements, you can add these fun, colorful backgrounds. Those are neat. For messages that you may want to send frequently, we have the option for you to save them as a template. So if this is a message that I know I'll be sending frequently, such as homework is due tomorrow, don't forget. And I want to send that out every Thursday, but I don't want to have to type it every time. I'm going to save that as a template. And when I look at my templates, it's there. So like every Monday when I'm scheduling out my messages, I can just boop, there's that, schedule it out for Thursday. So we've tried to make things as easy and quick as possible for you. And you can delete those templates whenever you want as well. We also have in templates suggested messages that we've created around themes such as back to school, welcome messages for when you are sending your first message, progress reports. We've got new ones coming out towards the end of this week, actually. So there should be some more popping up and we'll update those frequently. So you should see some new templates coming up. So those are the cool features for when sending an announcement. And then when you send a direct message, it's pretty much all the same, except your recipients will be individual students' families. And the color option is not there. That's just for announcements. So everything else is the same except the audience and the color option. This storm is crazy. On the dashboard, you can also see when looking at your announcements, each announcement can be liked by the recipients. So a lot of parents, if they see an announcement that doesn't really warrant a response, like I'm excited to see everyone for the back to school party on Friday, it's not a question. It doesn't really require any sort of response, but I'd love to know if they are also excited. So I love that they liked this message. And I can see who liked it. Anka and Paige's parents liked this message. I'm glad they liked it. I can also see the read and delivered receipts. So these check marks tell me who it was delivered to via app and text message, and then who read it on which device. So, excuse me, on delivered receipts, we can see delivered receipts for app and text. For read receipts, we can only see the read receipt for the app because that data does not get sent to us for text messages because of cell carrier data is private. So that's one of the reasons that we highly encourage you to try and get as many parents on the app as possible, because we can get more of that data to help you see read receipts, and that's really helpful. So let's move into announcements. This tab just separates out your announcements. You can see what was sent to which class by you. So I haven't sent any announcements to this class, but I have to my other class. The messages tab takes me to individual messages to each family. Since I do tests on my account, everyone's last name is what type of phone they have, but it shows the student Okay. When you click into an individual's message thread, you'll see your conversations with their family. So you can see their name at the top, the student's name at the top, the classes that they are enrolled in, your conversations, their responses. If you click the three dots in the corner, you can view their personal details. You can edit their personal details if you need to update a phone number, add a contact for them, delete them, add them to another class, whatever it is you need to do for them, this is where you would do it. And then you can also print the conversations you're having with them for your own records if that's something you need to do. Another thing you can do when you hover over the announcements in this view, you can show the translations that it's been sent in. This is something that I love about our app on the web. And since this was an announcement sent to many families, I can see it in all the languages that it was sent in. And I love seeing that. That's a really cool feature. And the same is true for the family's messages. So this was sent in English, so that's not showing. But for instance, I know Paige's family sends messages in French. So I can show the way that they sent their message and then the way that it was translated. Then you'll also see this question mark button. It's called the Help Me Understand feature. If a parent sends a message with a typo or missing spaces or some sort of colloquialism, idiom, anything that doesn't translate properly, and you get a message that doesn't quite make sense, you can click this button and you can choose to submit it for review, and it'll be sent to another human translator who'll go over it in context and send it back to you to make more sense of it. It's a great feature when something just doesn't quite make sense. So you'll also notice in this thread, this option has appeared. It was not present for Kevin's family, but it's here for Paige's family, skip translation. That's because her parent speaks French and I speak conversational French, and I've set it as my second language in my account. That is something you can do if you're a bilingual teacher. You can set a second language, and then when there is a parent whose language is the same as yours, you can choose to skip translation and type in that language so that you can have an authentic one-to-one conversation without any translation taking place. A lot of native speakers and learned speakers of other languages appreciate passing over translation when they're conversing with other speakers of that language. All right, so that's where you see those individual messages in your account. The analytics dashboard, like I mentioned earlier, is where you would find your data on how many messages, how many announcements you've sent. You can set your time span, so you can see how many you've sent per time. This is a test account, so I don't send that many, but yours would probably be a lot more active than mine. And then you can also see the details about your family. So how many languages you're connecting with, who and how many valid and invalid phone numbers. So if you find some that are invalid phone numbers, you can reach out to them and make sure you get an updated phone number so that you're getting connected with them as effectively as possible. And then if they unsubscribe from Talking Points, you can see that here and make sure you get connected with them. This is also good data to show your administrators if they ask for family engagement data on your family engagement plan that you're using in your classroom. And then the classes tab shows your rosters if you need to see that information. For instance, how many contacts, the relationship role of the contacts that you're speaking to, the languages, what they're using to communicate, and then clicking into their conversations, which takes us back to the messages tab. Down in the left-hand corner, you'll see your kind of profile settings. The share the love button just gives you an option to share about talking points on social media, because a lot of talking points marketing is just you guys telling each other about it. I know a lot of you probably heard about talking points from another teacher, and that's how we've grown. Because teachers love talking points and we love sharing about the things that we love. So if you guys have a chance to talk about it, do it, because that's awesome and we love it. If the school year ends and you don't want to delete your classes because you may want to contact someone later on, you can archive a class and then restore it later. So this is where that feature is. And then your help center is here so that you can contact us when you need help, and you can look up articles about all of the features in your account and get answers to questions that you may have. So in your profile settings, there are a few things that I want to point out. Most of it is self-explanatory, like changing your password and what grade do you teach, what school are you at. But there are a few things I want to point out. First, your teacher signature. This is something that only shows up a few times, but I've put Mrs. D because my name is Paige Delosier, but my families and kids don't know me by Paige or Paige Delosier. And if my family's on text message, get a message from Paige, they're not going to know who that is. So I put in Mrs. D because that's how they know me. So put in kind of your teacher name as your teacher signature, because that will be in your messages to families using text and not the app, so that they know who it's coming from. This in your personal info is where you would select that second language if you speak one, so that you can allow to skip translation where that is applicable. Make sure you save those settings if you've chosen them. And then I want to point out notification settings. Everyone's will be different, the way that they want to set them. If you want to receive notifications on your mobile phone, when you download the Talking Points mobile app, all the time, just click available all hours. But if you only want to receive notifications of those during a certain set time, select a start and end time, and then tell your families like, hey, I'm only available to message between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Otherwise, I'll get back to you the next day. That sets a really healthy boundary between home and school. And I know that teachers, we are notorious for working late and getting up early. But it's just really healthy for us to set that boundary. So we put this in here to help you do that. And then obviously changing your passwords, setting your school and grade level and things like that is on your settings as well. So I am going to show you quickly before we end what the mobile app looks like. The Talking Points for Teachers mobile app is available on iOS and Android phones. So you would just go to the App Store or Google Play. Okay. There we go. All right. And once you log in with the same email and password that you did on the web, it should look exactly the same as it does on the web. So I see the same options, the same messages, the same announcements, the same. I see the same data. Down at the bottom, I see an option to chat with the support team. And then there are these tabs at the bottom. I can see to go to all of my messages, my announcements, classes, and profile with all the same options as I had on the web. So again, once you've gotten used to one of the platforms, whether it's web or mobile, the other is almost identical. So we've got it worked out pretty well. And again, you can access support and our help center to ask us any questions that you have from either platform. So we're there to help you regardless of where you are on Talking Points. So I am going to leave you with the contact information for Talking Points. Our website again is www.talkingpts.org. On Twitter, our handle is @TalkingPointsEd, and we are very active on Twitter. If you will tag us with any questions, anytime you want to spread the word about Talking Points, or anytime you get an amazing message from a family that you want to share with us, we love seeing things like that. And then if you have any questions, suggestions, comments that you want to share with us, our email is hello@talkingpts.org. So it's been lovely sharing this time with you, and we'll see you online. Bye-bye.